The sun had barely crept over the horizon in Washington, D.C., when Pam Bondi, former Florida Attorney General and now a leading figure in a national justice initiative, received a classified report that turned her blood cold. A quiet knock at her office door delivered news no patriot could bear. "Ma'am," said the agent, his voice unsteady, "it's Minnesota. We've uncovered something massive. Billions gone, stolen from veterans' funds." Bondi's piercing gaze narrowed as she took the dossier. The pages revealed a web of deceit, suspicious wire transfers, shell companies, and forged veteran registries, all pointing to one name at the center: Governor Tim Waltz. The man who had publicly championed seniors and veterans was now suspected of siphoning their benefits for personal gain. Bondi stood, her resolve unshakable. "Not on my watch," she declared. The room fell silent. "This nation honors its heroes," she continued, her voice sharp with conviction. "If this is true, it's a betrayal that cuts to the core of who we are. I want everything, every document, every lead. No press, no leaks, just the truth." A quiet, explosive investigation began to form under her command. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, 87-year-old veteran Walter Grady sat shivering on a bench outside his shelter, clutching a folded American flag. Evicted for missing rent, he had no idea his benefits had been stolen. But the truth was stirring, and soon the nation would know. Walter's reflection blurred in the rainy sidewalk as he whispered to himself, "I served 3 tours. I earned this." A college student filming a documentary noticed him. "Sir, can I ask what happened?" she said gently. Walter's voice cracked. "I fought for this country. They told me my benefits ran out. I don't know where the money went." The student posted the clip online with a caption, "This is how America treats its heroes." By nightfall, it had 4 million views. Social media erupted as veterans nationwide shared stories of missing benefits, closed programs, and denials that made no sense. Bondi saw the video from her office, her jaw tightening. She called her team. "We're going public. The people deserve to know." Without hesitation, Pam Bondi strode into a press briefing room, cameras flickering to life. The crowd hushed, sensing something monumental. She stood at the podium, no notes, no script, just fire in her eyes. "My fellow Americans," she began, "what I'm about to share will anger and grieve every decent citizen. This is Walter Grady." She held up his photo. "He fought for your freedom, and now he's sleeping on a bench because someone stole the money meant for him." Gas rippled through the room. "We have evidence suggesting billions in veterans' funds were siphoned through fraudulent programs in Minnesota. Governor Tim Waltz is now under federal investigation. This isn't politics, it's justice." The nation erupted. Phones buzzed, families wept, and veterans sat in stunned silence, some trembling with relief that someone was finally fighting for them. Bondi's words echoed, "To every forgotten veteran, we see you and we won't stop." Support surged, but Governor Waltz vanished from public view. That night, a Minnesota news station aired a segment on Walter Grady. His daughter Lisa appeared, her voice breaking. "My dad served when he was 18. He's always been proud, strong. Now he's on a bench because someone stole his benefits." She sobbed on live TV, and viewers wept with her. At a Duluth nursing home, 3 veterans watched, their fists clenched. "We were forgotten," one said, "but not anymore." Bondi held a midnight meeting with her investigators, her determination unwavering. This can't fade away, she said. This is about the soul of our nation. Outside, crowds gathered with candles, holding photos of their veteran loved ones. The movement grew, but Walls remained silent. Then a tip came to Bondi's hotline. A shaky voice said, "My name's Angie. I'm a nurse at a clinic Walls funds. It's not for veterans, it's a front." Bondi's team acted fast. Angie met two investigators at a diner, handing over a flash drive and a journal filled with fake invoices, lists of non-existent patients, and bank transfers tied to Walls's allies. "They used us," Angie whispered, tears falling. "I thought it was real, but those veterans never existed." The flash drive was a game changer, exposing a paper trail that could dismantle the scheme. By afternoon, Bondi was back at the podium. "To those who exploited our heroes," she said, her voice like steel, "we're coming for you. To our veterans, help is on the way." That same day, a black SUV sped away from the Minnesota governor's mansion. Inside, Tim Waltz looked nervous, eyes darting. He was slipping away. In rural Minnesota, 82-year-old June Walker watched Bondi's speech from her kitchen. Her late husband, Roy, served in Korea, but her survivor benefits stopped 6 months ago. She'd called, written, begged, no answers. Now hearing Bondi, she clutched Roy's dog tags and whispered, "Maybe someone finally heard me." A local news crew found June on her porch, tears streaming but hope sparking in her eyes. "I believe Pam Bondi will fix this," she said. "She's saying it straight." That night, Bondi pored over more evidence, her office lit only by a desk lamp. She didn't rest. She couldn't. The next morning, Walter Grady woke in a Minneapolis shelter to a commotion. "It's her," someone whispered. Pam Bondi walked in, unannounced, her presence commanding yet warm. She knelt by Walter's cot. "I saw your story, sir. I'm sorry this happened, but it ends now." Walter, stunned, whispered, "You came for me?" Bondi nodded. "For you and every veteran. You're not forgotten." Outside, a crowd gathered. Bondi stepped onto the shelter's steps, cameras rolling. "I'm here because justice starts with people like Walter. Not in courtroom, but here." News stations cut programming. Millions watched, veterans saluting through tears. Meanwhile, Walls was spotted near the Canadian border, boarding a private helicopter. The net was tightening. Angie, the nurse, hadn't slept, fearing retaliation. That evening, two cars parked outside her apartment. Her phone rang. "Angie, this is Bondi's security team. You're safe." She collapsed in relief. Bondi reviewed Angie's evidence again. It was worse than feared. Fake clinics, bills for care that never happened, and names of deceased veterans whose benefits were still claimed. "They used the dead," an aide said. Bondi's eyes flashed. "That's not just theft, it's desecration." Angie went public that night, weeping on TV. "I thought I was helping, but I was helping them steal from heroes." Thousands of nurses and doctors contacted her, sharing similar stories. A wave of truth was rising, and Walls was off the grid. At the Department of Veterans Affairs, a clerk named Darnell found a closet stuffed with unopened letters from elderly veterans. One read, "My heating bill is $312. I got $58 this month. I'm 91. Is this a mistake?" Darnell posted a photo online. It went viral. Bondi saw it and ordered the letters delivered to her office. Each night she read them, vowing, "Every name gets justice." Within 48 hours, veterans like Frank, whose granddaughter thought no one cared, received calls. "Pam Bondi read your letter," they were told. Frank wept. In a Minnesota classroom, 11-year-old Cody Jenkins spoke up. My grandpa's a veteran they forgot. My mom cried when Pam Bondi spoke. His teacher posted his words online. They were shared a million times. Bondi saw it and sent Cody's family a note. Your grandpa's a hero, Cody, and so are you. We won't stop. Cody cried. His teacher cried. Millions cried. At a church in Anoka, Pastor Raymond, a Vietnam veteran, read the names of 20 congregants whose benefits were cut. A widow, Helen, sobbed, thinking she'd failed her late husband. Pam Bondi's listening, Raymond said. The room stood, applauded, and wept. The investigation deepened. Bondi's team, led by a young auditor named Matt, uncovered a luxury hotel in Minneapolis, the Veteran Recovery Lodge. It was empty, no guests, no veterans. But millions were spent maintaining it, funneled to companies tied to Waltz's friends. Bondi addressed the nation, her voice cold with fury. They built palaces on veterans' backs. This isn't theft, it's betrayal. We'll find every dollar, every lie. Surveillance caught Waltz meeting a consultant at a remote airstrip, planning to flee. Time was running out. Dolores McCarthy, a frail widow in Rochester, mailed Bondi a letter with a photo of her husband Jack, killed in Vietnam. My benefits stopped. Thank you for hearing us, she wrote. Bondi read it, ordering, find her, restore everything, tell her Jack's not forgotten. That evening, a team arrived at Dolores's apartment with a check and a flag. She dropped to her knees, sobbing, I'm seen. Bondi returned to the press room, holding a folder. Over $2.1 billion was funneled through fake programs tied to Minnesota's governor's office. They used names like Staff Sergeant Marvin Ellis, dead 10 years, but never helped a soul. Her voice broke. This isn't corruption, it's cruelty. A blizzard hit Minnesota, but Bondi's team tracked a black SUV to a hangar at 3:41 a.m., its jet owned by a shell company. We're close, Matt said. Bondi replied, tell the country what he's doing while veterans freeze. Headlines screamed, Governor's secret flight in snowstorm linked to fraud escape. Americans united, not divided for truth. In Duluth, elderly women sewed a quilt with veterans' names, like Thomas R. Yates, USMC. Clara, his widow, whispered, we want them remembered. Bondi requested the quilt for her office, saying, these are our heroes. Eric Lasky, an accountant in a fake veteran program, left a tip. I was part of it. I need protection. Before Bondi's team reached him, he vanished, leaving a USB drive labeled Via Ghost Fund. It detailed thousands of stolen funds, matching veterans' names. Bondi ordered a nationwide sweep of VA programs. This isn't just Minnesota, she said. It's deeper. At the Minnesota Capitol, elderly veterans prayed in the cold, led by 97-year-old Bill Harmon. Lord, let truth prevail, he said. Bondi called it the most beautiful thing I've seen. She sent a team to meet them. Leonard Pitt, 89, got a letter saying he was ineligible. Bondi's speech changed that. Those letters weren't mistakes. They were theft. We're fixing it. A team brought Leonard a check and dignity. At 1 a.m., Bondi visited the Lincoln Memorial alone, praying for guidance. A homeless veteran approached. You look familiar, she smiled. Maybe, he nodded. Someone's fighting for us. She issued an emergency order, immediate funding for affected veterans. Headlines roared, Bondi acts while governor flees. A leaked audio surfaced, Waltz's voice cold. Keep the money moving. Veterans won't make noise. The nation reeled. Bondi, tears in her eyes, vowed. They stole trust, dignity. We won't stop. Vigils lit up cities. At the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, Bondi touched Michael J. Braddock's name, used in the fraud. His sister, Judy, met her sobbing. He was 19. They used him like a number. Bondi promised, not anymore. The moment went viral. Sergeant Caleb Hunter, 23, spoke in Kansas. My granddad was abandoned, but Pam Bondi's fighting. That's leadership. Bondi invited him to her office. 7-year-old Ellie wrote, "Thank you for helping my great-grandpa." Bondi framed her drawing saying, "This is why we fight." Sheila Morgan, a clinic worker, confessed on TV, "I knew it was wrong." Veterans forgave her, wanting truth. A forgotten Vietnam memorial in Mono was restored, sparking a national movement. Bondi reposted a video. "We remember always." From her office, Bondi addressed the nation. Billions were stolen from veterans by a network tied to Minnesota's government. This isn't the America we believe in. Holding Ellie's drawing, she said, "Help is here. The shame is theirs." A cabin near Canada held scattered documents and cash. But Waltz was gone. The trail accounted for every dollar. Bondi held the file, whispering, "We kept our promise." At Arlington, Bondi gave a widow's flag to a Marine veteran. "This is for those who never stopped believing," she said. Taps played and America stood still, healing. The nation remembered, always.